By the right of the Council, by the will of the Force. Welcome back to another episode of the Galaxy Famous and or Season 2 approved Jedi Talk Podcast. You are following us at Jedi Talk Podcast on Instagram, youtube.com/Jedi Talk, where you're seeing Park and Tarkin dropping a car on Corn Plaza out there. My God, has Andor been fucking lit. I am Atomica here on the High Council. Glad I'm here on the High Council. I'll get into my morning in a little bit. I do want to make mention of that. But joining me as always, and we're on Zoom until I move completely, but joining me across, he had Crazy Thunder earlier, and he somehow survived. But that's Mr. Brad Bourbon Review himself, Brad Hughes. Brad, how the fuck are you tonight?
It's rolling thunder, pouring rain. It's fucking nuts over here, dude.
Is it still pretty cranky? I mean,
it's it's storming right now.
Dry here. I mean, last night
wild.
It was. Yeah, the only wet thing here is somebody's mother. But the dry, it's dry right now. But last night it was not. So we got hit last night hard.
I got both. I got last night and tonight.
Ooh, lucky you.
It's wild right now. Like I walked outside on the patio while you started doing this just to sit down, and I walked out and all my patio furniture is just sopping wet. And I was like, all right, well, I guess I'm going to go stand in the garage and do this.
Stand in the garage. You're jacking off in the garage.
Standing in the garage. I'm getting some steps in. It's been a weird day. I don't know how to. Okay, so let's do this. I'm going to shoot it to Evan, and he can talk about what he wants to talk about because it's important for the show.
Yes.
So across from me, the man, the myth, the legend, Evan T. Boucher. Evan, what the fuck is going on, buddy?
Hey, Adiga, and good journey. Yeah, it's downpouring where I'm at, too, with some crazy thunder and lightning. But, of course, I'm only, less than 10 miles away from Brad. We're 20-ish miles from Tom. So I guess that's just how weather works, huh? But,
storms can only be so big, you know?
I guess, yeah. So there is something big pertaining to the podcast that is good news for you listeners and bad news for me, but I will have to be leaving the podcast after an amazing, 6.5 years that I've had hanging out with Brad and then Tom joining. So
that is crazy.
Has it been 6.5 years since you've been on? Holy shit!
It's been since Galaxy's Edge, right? So
yeah, the opening day of Galaxy's Edge was the first episode I was on, and then I don't know. You were crazy enough to ask me to keep coming on to say stupid things, so I have been for 6.5 years. So, and then of course, the MegaCon panel that we got to host because of this podcast. I never would have got to host a MegaCon panel without being on this podcast, without Brad offering me to come on the show and just be stupid on the show. And
I don't think that's as hard as you think it is.
Shut up. Let people think it's easy.
I don't know.
Or hard.
I don't know.
I'm kidding.
Even if it is easy, I never had the platform to do it or the opportunity to do it. I guess if it's easier than I think, I could have applied more to do it, but I never did. And never thought I was gonna do it, and then we did. And having the chance to talk to all the amazing former Star Cruiser performers and host a panel with a former Star Cruiser performer. Having all those opportunities and talking to authors like Kevin Shinnick, talking to him was crazy. I never would have got to talk to him if it wasn't for Brad asking me to come on the show. So it's been a great 6.5 years, and I wish I could keep being on the show and being stupid and just talking Star Wars, but life needs me not to, for now anyway. I don't know if that'll ever change, if I'll ever come back, but they just have to step away.
Are you wearing a suit jacket right now?
No, I wish. This is a SK620 shirt.
Oh, it looked like a suit jacket. I thought you were fresh off an interview or something.
It does look like he was in a suit jacket. Like he was coming from.
Okay.
So
it's not just me.
Yeah, it looked like he was coming from court. So I was gonna be like, how long is the sentence? Is this why you're dropping off the podcast? Yeah.
Yep.
He's mandatory 3 to 5.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, thank you, Brad, and of course, thank you, Tom, for coming on and being awesome. And you two are gonna keep being badasses. And
that's right, but
like I said, it's good for the listeners that I'm stepping away. So there you go, guys.
No, it's not. I mean, I don't think it's good for the listeners. I think a lot of people had agreed with you on lots of things. Yeah.
I think you need to do what you need to do. And full transparency, he just told us this about 5 minutes before we
It's
started
true.
recording, so it's a little bit of a shock to all of us. But yeah, man, I don't with what you told us, I don't disagree.
Same. And I fully support you. Even if I disagreed with
Yeah,
what you said, I would support you because that's just, I respect your opinion on that. So I get it. We get it. Right. And if
we've
you,
been there.
oh, yeah, oh, yeah, 1,000%.
I've been there,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
totally understand, man.
And I'm sure I'll be there again in the future, and in 20 years down the line, I'm sure I'll be there again.
Yeah.
I would say follow Evan on Instagram if you want to hear his non-Star Wars thoughts, because Disney C seems to be a thing he's talking about lately. Just FYI.
Oh yeah, and for the foreseeable future. So, so yes, if you want to do that, you can do that. Same with YouTube. There's gonna be a billion YouTube videos. So if you want to, but it's just gonna be all me being silly and talking about Disney Sea.
That's fair. That's fair. Who knew that? So this is technically your last Star Wars chat podcast with us, because we're gonna eventually record the other half of our Disney Sea epic. So like,
Yeah,
this isn't your last episode, but it kind of is.
yeah, in a way.
Yeah. All right. So this we'll have to commemorate this as title this Evan's last episode. We have to, because that'll forever be enshrined in Jedi Talk history, right? You see what I'm saying? Like, we title it, like we know we can go back and it's kind of special in
Yeah,
our
you get
hearts.
a little bookmark on it.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
And we get to talk Andor, your favorite show.
Well, I mean,
What a great way to end Evan's legacy.
full like honesty and transparency here. I haven't even watched these Andor episodes, so I won't be talking about them. But
Holy shit.
we can talk about Tales of the Underworld because that was awesome.
Andor is
See, I haven't
better.
watched that yet. I haven't finished. I haven't finished episode 9 yet. I started it,
Oh,
and then
damn.
I work. So
Yeah.
I haven't had a chance to finish it yet. But Jesus Christ Almighty, you can spoil it, Tom, unless there's something crazy.
okay.
Yeah, you can spoil it because I don't care.
Oh my God, you're
How
gonna
do you
care
not
about this one.
care?
You're gonna
Oh
care
my
about this
God.
one.
I think we broke it down last week. I just want Star Wars to be fun and make me feel like I'm watching
This was-
something fantastical.
Spoiler
See,
alert: there was
this-
a Force healer in this arc.
Yeah,
Spoiler
dude.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, man. There's some
75 hours for
cool-
something I would like.
God damn it! You're off the podcast.
You're
No.
fired, Evan. You
We
can't
know what
fire
I
me,
just said.
quit.
We know what I just said was wrong because I did mention how I love the TIE Avenger and I
Yes.
love the Mon Mothma. So there are things I love in it.
There's
Dude,
a lot of Mon in this arc.
I have never been this excited about Andor at all. I am so in on this season, dude. This
Yeah.
last episode 8, I haven't watched 9 yet, but I also want to say a few things first off. Episode 8, some people were saying it's like the greatest moment in television history. That's a little hyperbolic, but it was really fucking good.
Mhm.
Like I don't put it up with Hank getting killed in Breaking Bad. It's not that good to me.
I saw
it is
people
still
saying
re-
it was better than that.
That's retarded. That is so stupid to say. There's nothing that is emotionally equivalent to 8 episodes of that. Like, dude, watch Breaking Bad and then get to that point and tell me that's a better scene. It's not a better
I'm not
scene.
arguing you.
That's
I'm not
crazy.
arguing with you. I mean, it's just when I think of greatest TV episodes I've ever watched, there'll be Seinfeld episodes and their Curb episodes, and then I'm going to think about Andor season 2, episode 8 for a very long time.
For sure. I mean, that's very impactful. Don't get me wrong, but it's not up there with Rita dying in Dexter. It's not up there with Hank dying in Breaking Bad. It's not quite that good for me, but I get it. All right. But Jesus Christ, was it amazing?
It was. So
It's so good.
I said this to some friends, and I said, who knew that Andor would invoke more emotion in me as a Star Wars fan than Ahsoka did? And Ahsoka pulled those strings a lot for me, especially with the Anakin stuff. But then, like, holy shit, I'm just sitting here watching. I remember I had to stop after episode 8 and step away before I started 9 just because of how.
You texted me that.
Yeah.
You texted me that it was that impactful. I don't get how it was quite that impactful. Because yes, it is. I want to hear your thoughts, but my thought
sure.
on it is like, yes, it is impactful to the resistance or the rebellion rather, but like it's not as impactful as like a character, because it's not really the Gore aren't really a character. They're a thing.
They're a
you know
people.
what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, but
it's a people, but like I'm not emotionally connected to all those people. You know what I'm saying? Like it's different.
Okay.
like when
I'll
you
tell you
like
why.
it's
Yeah.
almost like when you see a tragedy overseas, you're like, oh, that's really sad. That sucks. But when someone you know dies, it's way more impactful.
All right.
Yeah,
All right.
and we've only had what 1 or 2 episodes of Rebels even mention Gorman, and now we've had like what 6 episodes of Andor connect us to the Gorman. So it's
Yes.
not a ton, especially in comparison to Star Wars. So I get where Brad's coming from. So I haven't seen these episodes, so maybe I would have a emotional moment, but I see where he's coming from. We don't
Here's
have a connection.
I
in
had a bigger emotional reaction to Luke showing up still.
no,
I
no,
Oh
mean,
that's
yeah,
fine. Yeah.
yeah.
And I think they invoke different emotional reactions out of me. This
sure.
is like the fantasy Luke thing is different than like this because this like almost real
It,
life
it, it's a
thing
tragedy.
tragedy, yeah. And it's moved me in a way because we're bouncing around in spoiler alerts, but we're going right into episode 8, which was happily entitled "Who Are You?" They give the I think it was Pendergrass gives the okay to that sniper, and that sniper shoots one of his own, and they blame the gore on it, and that's a basic that's a false fucking flag right there. Like they started it. They're the ones that shot the fire. This is what they wanted all along. And the part of like emotion that invokes out of me is just how like real this is and how grounded this is and how you can look back in history and see these things truthfully happen to us. And then it's like you feel for these people because you know what they're truthfully fighting for. The Empire's going in and fucking their shit out of their planet, and there's going to be no more planet left taking that Calcite out, and they would never tell them why they were there. And they knew it was
So
nefarious
crazy.
intentions. They knew it was insane intentions, but the Gore continued to try to fight. It's emotional just because you can connect so much to what's happening, and then you grow and learn about these people and these characters, and you see their everyday struggles. And the show does a fantastic job of being tense and every moment mattering. So you see the look on Vel's face when she's on Yavin, which we got a shit ton of this arc. So much Yavin for.
Oh, so good. It felt so good to see Yevon.
Yes, you see the look on her face when she picks up that blaster, and like, whose blaster is this? Right? She's looking at it, thinking about her deceased partner, fiance, wife. I don't know who that was. But like everybody's invested so deep into this, and why episode 8 too added a layer onto that. You know how many times like Andor and Cyril were kind of in the same vicinity. Some people will say
Yes.
they've been conveniently losing each other, and then they finally
Yes.
meet, and then Cyril's like, you! And they have this badass back and forth, like rolling around the ground. And
That
then,
fight was so fucking good,
yes,
dude.
yeah. And like, and Cyril was this close to killing him, and then Cyril gets it from the, basically the Gorman front leader, who he kills who he had been talking to, who earlier in the episode, or it was the messenger, I can't remember which one it was, the guy confronted him, and he was like basically like, you were feeding this information to them. Why didn't you tell me what was going on? And Cyril kept saying, I didn't know. And then moments before Cyril got it, when he was down and he went up and found Deidre, and he was like choking her. It's like, why didn't you tell me? Like, it's so fucking wild. I
I
don't
think
know.
this is by far the best arc of any Andor anything. Period. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
if this like, I think season 2 is just leaps and bounds above season 1.
Oh, hands down.
It's
There's
so
no denying
fucking
that.
interesting. It's
Yeah.
so good, and it's just so intense. And to your point of like, you have to pay attention. Like, I think people who don't like this season are just not paying attention. People are on their phones. They're looking at Instagram. Like, every word matters. It's really easy to get lost in this show.
Sure. But
Kyle,
I
well,
think there's a lot of truth in that because any other Star Wars I've watched, I haven't grabbed my phone, but I have picked up my phone during Andor. So I think that's part of it where I'm just not connected. But there's a reason why I'm getting on my phone to start. It's like which caused which first. But when I'm watching Mando or I'm watching Skeleton Crew or you name it, I'm not grabbing my phone. But for some reason, when I watch Andor, I'm like, all right, time to check YouTube or whatever. Like,
so here's the difference. I think Mando wouldn't work outside of the context of Star Wars, but I think Andor would work outside of the context of Star Wars. And I think that there's something to that where I'm kind of like you, Evan, where like my Star Wars, I need Jedi. I need force. I need this mystical element to it because outside of that, it's a war story, right? So it's a war movie or an espionage movie,
Yeah.
and I
I
think
mean,
for a lot of people, they can get like that. But I get the storytelling here this season where I didn't get it the first time. Like I think they have done an incredible job with Andor season two.
yeah.
I'm not even finished with this arc yet. I'm like I wasn't quite like holy shit, this is so heavy, but I was like, man, that was impactful. And
Yeah, be ready for episode 9 because it is so good. I don't know if
so
it's better than 8.
I want a spoiler here.
Yes.
Let me know.
Yes.
I don't know if this is true because I haven't watched nine yet, but I remember I predicted in the last episode that Bix was gonna die. I don't think she's gonna die now. And I think does she die in episode nine?
No.
Okay. I think she's gonna survive, and I think that's gonna make Cassian's death in Rogue One more impactful for us.
Okay. That's fair. I think that's a really good call out. So we'll see.
Like imagine her because they've mentioned it in the past, like her just like waiting for him to come back and not knowing if he's okay or not.
That's true.
And like it's just imagining her like on you know how they do those like stories from the old days where like a maiden would sit on the dock every day waiting for her husband to come home. I could see her turning into that version of Star Wars.
That would be fairly impactful, and then she'd be really pissed to find out that he kissed Jin right before they died. So
yeah, I wonder what that's about. Now that you're watching the show.
all right.
He's like, fuck it, let's run it back one more time.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's just jump into right episode 7, right? Entitled Messenger, right? So we open straight up on Yavin 4, and Cassian's living there with Bix, right? And Brad, you had told me like right away, like it's so great to see Yavin, and you know, Evan, are you going to eventually watch these?
Yeah, eventually. I don't know when. But.
All right. I think you'll enjoy seeing Yavin a lot.
I was just about to say, I think you'll like this one specifically.
Definitely. I mean, just you might not follow the plot, but like just for the lore, it's pretty cool. So they're Andor is like drawn back into the rebellion when it's Willman who shows up and delivers a message from Luthen. You know, he's working for Luthen and said Deidre Miro is going to be on Gorman, and she must be eliminated. She's got to be go pop her, kill her, assassinate her. You know, I remember Andor being skeptical of it. He agrees to it, and then like before leaving, this is when Bix takes Andor through Yavin. And look, for all you out there, I've only seen this once, so you know, Andor to get details right, you got to watch it more than once, and I'm fine with that. But I'm just trying to remember here. So correct me if I'm wrong, Brad. But Bix takes Cassian to the Force healer, and she like heals him while she's healing everybody else, and then she like kind of turns and walks just directly towards him and stops. And she looks like if Jocasta Nu was like a little younger and shorter.
Yeah.
She like identified him as was it like a messenger?
Somebody who's important or something. I forget the context of it, but it he was like resistant to want to go. He's like, I don't believe. He's like, what was his like? Not his mom, but like that old woman he lived with in season 1.
Marva.
What was her name?
Marva.
What was her? Marva.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, she never believed in any of that like juju kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And so he was like reluctant to go, and then she healed him.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't tell in this scene if they were kind of saying he was force sensitive.
Yeah,
right.
I was looking at that and like, Brad, you're not the only one, because do you remember in season 1 when you picked something up when he was getting like checked in at court on is it Niemos?
Yes.
Yeah, where he got like arrested. And
uh-huh.
you said something about his we said it on the podcast, like, is Cassian force sensitive? I don't ever remember if that was ever debunked. I didn't look into that, but I kept thinking about that. Like, is she picking up that he's force sensitive? And
because
it was
he's
weird.
like pushing it down. I remember saying that, and I remember it being like a thumbnail, I think, and no one really talking about it afterwards. But like after this, like I'm convinced that he's some level of force sensitive. That doesn't mean he's a Jedi. That doesn't mean they're like retconning all that stuff. But it's interesting. It's interesting. It's definitely, it would explain a lot of his luck and a lot of his, how things fallen into place, and if he's one with the Force,
Yeah.
even if he's reluctant to do so.
My official stance on it is going to be, I think the Force healer just felt like this path of destiny for him, like, because he's big reason that the plans get delivered to Leia to blow the Death Star up anyway. So she feels like he's this important piece. So I think that's what that is. But I would not be shocked because they were kind of given that vibe, right? Like,
Yeah,
whoa,
100%.
yeah.
I thought I was just reading into it because I feel like
No.
sometimes I read too much into stuff, and I'm like, wait a second, is he? And then I message you, and you're like, I don't know. I'm like, okay. It's not that it's not.
Right.
I mean, to go with what Tom is saying too, maybe he's like a conduit of the living force in a way. So like maybe that's what this character sees in him. I don't know, just based on what you're saying.
That would be interesting. Have we had that officially before?
I couldn't pinpoint it, but I'm
Okay.
sure there's been something like it somewhere.
That would be a really cool take on that, like a conduit of the Force. I'd like that. That would be cool. But so she, just like Brad was saying, he was very like, I don't know about that. And he was unsettled in the mysticism of the Force and everything. So, and then we have the Empire intensifying on Gorman. Excuse me, Deidre's overseeing the operations. She's up top looking over everybody, all very Imperial-like, but you feel that she's very on edge. She's very nervous in this arc. Like, they're close to just popping. And while that's all going on, Mon Mothma is continuing to convert her efforts to fund the rebellion, seeking assistance from Banker that take home a guy while, navigating through the politics and all that bullshit. So, did I miss anything directly from episode 7 that you remember, Brad? Because I'm kind of just putting this whole arc together.
I forgot I muted myself. Sorry, the doorbell rang and my Rockville tickets just showed up. Let's go.
Oh, there you go.
No, I don't think you're missing anything.
Okay.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say Cassian is Force sensitive.
Okay.
And that he is going to rip his shirt off in the last episode and pull down a Star Destroyer with his hand, and that will be Disney apologizing to all the normie Star Wars fans that like that. That's my out of left field prediction.
His middle name is Starkiller.
Yes, Cassian Star Killer Andor.
There you go. You finally get him in canon. So
I've been in this fight and in a Jedi temple since I was 4 years old.
Yes. So episode 8, Who Are You? From start to finish, the best episode of Andor thus far, season 1 and 2.
Oh, fuck,
Just
seriously?
episode
Damn it,
by
I'm
itself.
gonna hear these spoilers. Fuck.
What? No.
But
Not 9. I'm talking about episode 8, the one we already saw.
Sorry. Okay.
Yeah. So this is where this is essentially the Gorman Massacre. Like this is what sparked Mon to speak to the Senate in front of the Senate and speak out against Palpatine, right? So we see the Empire, and we talked about this earlier. So we see the Empire literally orchestrate the protest, right? They opened up the plaza, and the Gorman people kind of fell for it. They started piling in. They piled into the plaza, and everybody was like there. And finally, when it was too late, people realized it's a fucking trap. Oh man, and I can't remember. Was it the end of episode 7 when Cyril was looking to talk to Deidre, but then he got taken into the back room and he got taken in a room with other people, Brad? But do you remember what? I think it was 6 or 8 of them sitting down, just kind of waiting. All those KX series droids.
The K2 droids, yeah.
The KX series droids. Yeah.
That was 8, I think.
Yes, and oh my
was 8.
God, did they fuck some Gorman people up?
They were just lighting dudes up, throwing them across the goddamn plaza. It was wild.
Yeah, so the Empire eventually, like we said earlier, they got the call to shoot, and so they shot one of the green, because like the Empire or the ISB specifically sent like a green team in there, and like now you see it, like they sent them in there because they know they'd fuck up and it'd be easier to shoot one of them.
Well, yeah, I mean they were cornering everybody in that little plaza area for
Yep,
that exact reason. And
exactly.
you see at the very end, you see the stormtroopers like walking down the stairs to like
Hmm.
seal them in. It's like, oh shit, here we go.
Yeah, they're setting them up. So
Yep.
the Empire lit the fire, and the propaganda was off the charts. They were like, poor Imperial officers lost their life from the Gormans slaughtering them, and it's like, that shit, man. Like, people open your eyes. This shit happens every day. You're being fed something that people want you to see. That's why free thinking has to still be a thing, and that's like a big part of this show. I think why a lot of people connect with it, because it's like just trying to think for themselves, and other people telling you not to.
It's interesting that Disney greenlit this.
Well, we know they're not progressive anymore.
We got to talk about that too.
Yeah, we can. Can we save that towards the end?
Sure.
Because I want to get through the Andor stuff. So Cyril's in the So they basically released all the KX droids, right? And the KX droids are wrecking people during the Gorman massacre. And we talked earlier about how Cyril got it after he was super pissed at Deidre and choked her, asking what was going on, because he was in the dark the whole time. And we kind of see that Cyril really isn't that evil per se. He just was like motivated to be successful, and the fact
he's a useful idiot.
Yes, pretty
He's
much
a fucking idiot. He's a dumbass who was like essentially tricked into this. Like, I don't even know how real the relationship was. Where
well, we know they had sex in the dark.
Yeah, this is the brilliance of the show, though. People have done worse for less. You know what I mean?
That's true.
That doesn't mean anything. I think she was completely motivated by control and power. I don't think she gives a fuck about Cyril. I haven't seen the last episode though, so I don't know if he kind of rest in peace. He dies in 8, but I don't think she gives a fuck about him. To be honest, I could be wrong. 9 could change that, but I don't think she cares.
No, that's fair. She never really, outwardly shows that, right? Leading up to that point,
she is only concerned for herself the entire time.
Yep. So Cyril gets fatally shot by the Gorman resistance leader, Caro Rylans. I just want to make sure I'm saying that right. I'm sorry. I am bad with names. So Andor barely gets out of it, but before they leave, there's who was it driving the transport? He was driving the transport.
Dude, what's his name? Fuck.
That's okay. Was it Willman?
Yes, it was him. Yeah, it was him.
And the transport basically, who eventually becomes K2SO, cut him right in part right before he's about to bust Cassian shit. So, Evan, help me out.
That was a cool way to introduce K2SO.
Yes.
You knew it was going to happen at some point. It has to. It doesn't make any sense for him to have gotten him 3 days before the events of Rogue
Right.
Like, it doesn't make any sense.
But he gets him in two BBY or BBY2, whatever. So that's the year. Evan, doesn't that break comic book canon?
It does, actually.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking. They might have changed it a little bit, but it's kind of like how they changed the canon with Order 66, where it's like it wasn't at night and it wasn't in front of a campfire, but it was the same. It's kind of that same thing, where it's like not that big of a deal.
All right.
They completely changed like what year he got him and how long they've been friends, and if it changes that, then it's kind of a big deal. But if it's like, oh, instead of in this city, he was found in this city. Okay, big deal. That's not a big, So sure. I think it was more of one of those minor changes.
Okay, I'll have to go back and check that.
I'm pretty sure it's off by a year.
Oh, really?
Okay, I'm pretty sure.
That's not that big of a deal. Like if it was
to be honest,
5 years
man,
or something, like
the comics, like if you're still paying attention, I got bad news for you.
They could change it.
It's just what it's going to be. Yeah, it's just what it's going to be. It's just what it's going to be. Like you got to be okay with that.
Yeah.
And to be honest, a comic book is way less impactful than a storytelling device like a TV show or a movie. So I get it.
Yeah. I know. Yeah. But I still respect the people who respect it too if they look to the source material.
Who's got more Star Wars comics than anyone on this fucking call other than me? I mean, I'm pretty sure I got you guys beat.
In Star Wars comics, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, for sure. Like I'm a big comic guy, but like,
and I still have your Fallen Order ones.
Oh, do you?
I think I do. I think.
Well, we'll see if they survive the move.
Well, they should. They've survived like 2 others. So, Anyway, so that's like again, episode 8 from start to finish is just it's a roller coaster ride. It's just man. And this was the episode 2 that Brad said on an episode or 2 ago that somebody he followed and trusted online said that he had viewed the best Star Wars or TV episode, Star Wars episode he'd ever seen, and it was this, episode 8.
Yep.
Who are you?
John Roca from Collider back in the day.
There
He
you
does
go.
his own stuff now, but yeah, he was like, "This is the most insane thing I've ever seen." It was one of these episodes. He didn't say which one it was, which I thought was interesting. But after watching 8, there's no way it wasn't that. I haven't watched 9 yet, but like, there's no way.
It could have been, but I'm pretty sure it's 8 because 8's been
It was just so
a lot
intense. Is just the word I use. Like
Yeah.
it was intense from beginning to end. Like I've watched it like what, a day or 2 ago, and I'm still sitting here thinking about it. That's how you know a movie got you.
That's true.
I just said movie, TV show.
Well, we've been watching a movie of Andor pretty much for 3 weeks straight. We got one more week to go.
This is an interesting way to do all 12 episodes, man. I'm kind of
like
sad
it.
it's over, but
I
like,
like
it works.
it.
It works. It works. It absolutely works for the stories that they're telling. Because if you didn't have that and every 3 episodes was a new, a year later, you'd be like, what the fuck? It makes sense in the context of the show.
I like it, and I've seen complaints that I do agree with, though, that it just shouldn't be on a Tuesday night. It's like 9 o'clock Tuesday night. Okay,
I kind of agree with that. Yeah.
2 hours of Star Wars to watch. It's like, but what if
Yeah.
people have to wake up at 5 a.m. the next morning? What if they got kids? Like, how about you drop it Friday? Maybe Saturday might not be good for ratings, but like Friday night or something, like so people can.
No,
actually watch
Friday.
it.
Friday's
there's
a
never
killer.
good day.
Friday
there's
night's
never a
killer.
good day.
Yeah.
Friday's bad, so do Saturday then or something, because like Tuesday night is not good for a lot of people.
Here's the thing. I don't think it's the day that's the problem. I think it's the internet that won't shut the fuck up about it the second it drops. Because you do have these people who
That's true.
don't have other things going on, and I don't mean that derogatively. They just don't have kids and a life, and that's totally fine. You're allowed to not do that. But like people that are going on and spoiling it with thumbnails and titles of Instagram posts, and you open it and you're like, "Fuck, I didn't want to see that."
Yeah, I got
Maybe
spoiled
instead of
where
9
Bale was
o'clock.
going to be in episode 9 because of that.
Well, it's
Oh, see, I
9
didn't
o'clock
know
our
that now.
time, but like, is it
Whoops.
earlier? What time is it? Like on the West Coast,
6.
Like 6 o'clock,
So
I
it's
guess? So
yeah, it's
good
6
for them.
o'clock.
It's
good for them.
It's good for them. Yeah.
If you live on
Yeah.
the West Coast, screw you, basically, is what you're saying. But
Yep. But it's just what can you do? It's just one of those things. It's like there's never the perfect time.
Yeah.
It's the world we live in now. It's all streaming. It doesn't matter.
yeah,
It is. But
Just stop spoiling the shit.
yeah.
that's
Well,
the problem.
you're going to listen to my spoilers from episode 9, bitch.
So
So
you're
okay,
warning
I'll-
people. So look at that.
Exactly. You're one, and I'm accepting that I'm going to get spoiled. It was a great episode.
okay, good. So we have episode 9, Welcome to the Rebellion, which is a line that Cassian Andor says to Mon Mothma in episode 9. So this was almost a perfect episode to follow up episode 8 of the Gorman Massacre. So what's coming now. Episode 9 could not be anything else but Mon Mothma's home run. Genevieve O'Reilly's best episode thus far as Mon Mothma ever in Star Wars. I'm probably going out on a limb and
That's high
saying that,
praise, man. That's high praise.
but that's she nailed it. This is her performance. Like, this is it. This is it. They and I know my Star Wars character I've created hates Mon Mothma, but Andor's making me respect the way this character just has been built and how her stories are being told. Very, very much.
And that's good. And that's good for like your character and the universe and stuff, because it makes sense. Because the character that you have created for yourself wouldn't know all these details about Mon Mothma.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
He would just see the broad strokes and be like, "Wow, she kind of sucks," but
Right.
he wouldn't know why she did what she did.
Exactly. It's great. So this is all aftermath of the Gorman Massacre, and Mon Mothma is about to go to the Senate and talk. And everyone this like leading up to her speech in the episode is like, is Mon going to talk? Is from the Senate going to talk? And the ISB and the Empire are like, no, we're not going to let anybody talk. And they're like, no one's going to let anyone talk. No one's going to let Mon talk. It's like it was all this back and forth. And I believe this is the episode 2 as well, where they find Mon and her driver find the listening device. I think it was her driver. The listening device is in her office, which is in the Senate on Coruscant. So then she destroys the listening device, like right there. And then there's a scene in the ISB. Basically, it's like the NSA listening to our calls. There's like a scene there, and he's like, we lost, and he's like, Mon Mothma's, is basically not working, and they call a supervisor over there, and they're like, everyone's like, oh, what's going on? And I'm jumping all over the place here, but Mon eventually, she talks to Bail. No, not yet. Okay, before she goes to talk to Bail Organa, Luthen is seen talking to Cassian, and Andor he's basically talking about he's got one more thing to do for him. And way before this, we should absolutely mention that Cassian told Bix back on Yavin, like, after he went out and almost kind of sort of didn't kill Deidre because she's still alive, and he made it back with the KX droid, who eventually guns K2S. So he told Bix, I'm doing one more thing and I'm done. Right? He said, I'm doing one more thing and I'm done. And this one thing has him on Coruscant. And the one thing Luthen asked him to do was escort Mon Mothma out of there. And Luthen meets Mon Mothma down like on like the Plaza Open Valley area of like the Senate in Coruscant. And she's by herself. She gets sent out there by her driver. And Luthen basically says, if you're ever going to trust me, it has to be right now, and I promise you I'm telling you the truth. But Bail Organa's team is corrupted. Do not leave with him. Leave with my person. He's going to say this, and what the fuck was the...
I'm so sad I'm not hearing this here.
I'm sorry.
God damn it.
Yeah, and he's like... like the phrase was like, we've got friends everywhere, or something like that, is like a phrase that Cassian was going to say to Mon. And so she gets this information, and she's floored too, because she finds out her driver's been working for Luthen for the better part of 2 years, and she's tearing her driver a new one. And she storms off. She eventually sees Bail right before this. They get into Senate in this session, and Bail's talking. It's Benjamin Britt again. Obviously, Jimmy Smits didn't make a surprise return. They didn't CGI him out. So he's talking to Mon, and he's like, after you get the speech, you got to get right out of there. And, there's 3 people are going to meet you, and they're on platform 9 or something, and they're going to get you out. And then Mon looks up to Bail before he leaves, and he's like, do you trust them? And he's like, of course I do. And then she's like, do you know them? And he's like, no, not personally. Of course I can't. And he's like, you're going to be okay, because he thinks everything's going to be okay. So then they go to the 3 people who are supposed to be picking Mon up, and those 3 individuals, you find out quick which one's the one working for the Empire, because she gets caught talking to one of the ISB officers and has to kill the other person that's with her. So she goes back and meets the other one who's going to pick up Bail, or pick up Mon, and obviously that guy doesn't know that she's the rat. And he asks where the other guy is at, and she's like, I don't know, I thought he was with you. So Cassian intercepts her before getting to Bail's people, but he walks through the door with them, and basically the ISB, one that's undercover, pulls a gun out, because they weren't going to basically go along with it, and she's shooting at, or she's pointing at Andor and Mon. She's like, everybody freeze! I'm ISB. You're under arrest. This is Jesus Christ. This is like way after she gave the speech too. I am like jumping all over the fucking place. Mon gives her speech, by the way, and this is after the speech, right? This is after she's out, and the speech was just fucking fantastic from top to finish, right? And I can't give it any due diligence. Other than just go watch it, right? And I'll talk about the significance of the speech too. So when she finally gets out with Cassian, Cassian picks up his gun, shoots the ISB, the undercover ISB agent, right in front of a bunch of people too. So then they run out. You could see Mon like taking the green jacket she has off, and Cassian puts like his brown coat over her, and they're like dodging through everybody to try to get out of there. While obviously at every turn they can run into a trooper or something. And then they run into I don't think it's her like, not her driver. I think I was calling him the wrong thing, but and Winston's freaking out about a lizard on my window. So somebody who was working undercover for the Empire who was close to Mon, like shows up in the middle of the walkway while she's going through with Cassian, and he just pulls his blaster out and just like shoots him like right down in front of everybody, and like Mon is like, oh my god, what the hell? So they basically, yeah, Winston, I know it was a great episode. They basically get out of they eventually get Mon out of there after the phrase has been told. And again, I'm sorry if I'm fucking this up. Only watched this episode once, but they get they assist in extracting Mon from Coruscant, eliminating a bunch of Imperial agents in the process. And as they're kind of getting out of there, we find out that the rebellion after Mon was saved, right? And this is how, and I'm sorry to spoil this for you, Brad and Evan, but this is how they connect Rebels to this whole scene, right? We're all, it's season 3, is it episode 9? Is it in Rebels where Mon makes her speech and in basically calling out Palpatine. So that's the speech that she gives, one speech in front of the Senate that was being broadcast to the Senate, are broadcast across all the TVs and all the networks until
yeah, I remember this. Okay.
It was being broadcast until she goes, and I put the blame on like Senator Palpatine, and then they cut the feed. So when they cut the feed, like that's when Mon gets out of there, and she's away and she's safe. And like Luthen is there, and they're talking to Cassie, and there's a few other folks there, and it's basically like the rebellion wants to change the story up, so they're gonna have her. I think they're either gonna chop her speech up and show it again, or have her give another one. But they were basically just going to make it look like the rebellion were the ones that went in and distracted her. So, and I can't remember the name of the fucking. The rebellion commander general, but he's the one who told Cassian that Gold Squadron was going to go. He specifically said Gold Squadron was going to go pick up Mon and bring her into Yavin, because that was the and I know he's a prominent fucking character, and I hate myself for forgetting his name right now. Sorry guys, it's been a weird morning.
Is he in Rogue One?
Yes.
Is it Draven?
I think so. Was Draven earlier on in the episodes? Let me look it up real quick.
I don't think so.
Hold on. Talk amongst yourselves.
I think
Draven. Are you going to talk about this morning, Tom? Edit this out. Are you going?
I will.
Are you going to bring it
I
up?
will towards the end. Yeah, it is Draven, Evan. It is Draven.
Is he the one in Rogue One that's like, you need to kill Jyn Erso's
yes.
dad no matter what?
Yes.
Like, okay.
Yes.
That's what I thought.
Oh, yeah. I forgot he was in there.
It is General Draven.
Shit, that's who that guy. I knew I recognized that dude.
Yep.
There we go. That's a cool connection.
Yes. So he's the one that says Gold Squadron's going to bring Mon in, and basically like the story is that we brought her in. So you see, so go back to Rebels now and watch that, how the Gold Squadron, how the rebellion really did bring her in, and know now that it was fucking Luthen and Andor got Mon from point A to B. Like,
that's
how
wild.
Fucking
with the help
awesome
of the
is
Rebels crew
that?
too.
Yeah, exactly. How cool is that? It just like this arc. I don't know how episodes 10, 11, or 12 are going to beat this.
Ooh, this is going to be tough to beat, man. This was really special. I can't wait to watch 9. I'm going to watch it tonight.
Please do. And then, like, one of the, I can't remember his name, but one of the former prisoners from Narkina 5 returned in episode 9 and joined the rebellion. One of the ones who was in prison with Cassian. So then,
that's a wild connection.
Yeah, they're back on Yavin 4, and Bix is, they get there and Cassian's like, he's like, I'm done. I did it. We got her out. I'm done. I want this life with you, Bix. I want to live here. I just want he basically wants the quiet life, right?
So this next arc has to be them talking him into finding the Death Star plans.
Hold up.
Okay.
I'm not done yet, because there's something big here. So Cassian wakes up, and Bix isn't there. And then a voiceover starts, and she's left him a video message overnight that she's leaving. And she leaves him basically saying like you have bigger things to do and the rebellion needs you, and I have to leave so you can do those things.
What? Oh my God, I'm so pissed. I heard this from you just now. God damn it.
Wonder how much of that is Bix talking and how much of that is Bootstrap Bill. What's his name?
Luthen,
Luthen. Yeah,
you think Luthen's pulling those strings?
maybe because he spoke to her last week.
That's a great call out. I mean,
It's a good
Luthen's
point.
very Luthen.
And it could just be him planting the message in Bix. And Bix is saying
Ooh.
it, but she's saying it because like Luthen
And
is
that's what makes Cassian go do this whole thing in Rogue One. Interesting.
I actually think it has more to do with what the Force healer said to Bix. It could be a combination of things. But Bix really changed her tune and was really looking at that Force healer when she was talking to Cassian. I remember that. But it could be both. That's a great call out. Luthen could have absolutely said something to him. So or her.
Both would be a cool mix, right? Like I think that's cool. That's awesome.
This is a coincidence and also me stretching, so I don't think it's actually connected, but it sounds a lot like this Force person is kind of like Tia Dalma in Pirates when she sees Will and she's like, there's a touch of destiny about you. And that kind of sets Will on the path.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of that same where like maybe this Force person put this with Bix and Cassie and we're like, there's some destiny with Cassian, so you got to leave him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's your last episode. I'll let you make those dots connect.
Yeah, sure.
There you go. Watch him be right. Watch him be right.
That would be someone like, God damn it, Evan.
Yeah. So finally, Cassian, after the voiceover from Bix is done, he's running through the Yavin jungle. He's looking for her. He asks when the transport takes off, and somebody tells him it's already left. And then somebody comes looking for him, like, we've been looking for you. And we're ready to turn him on. And they walk up to he's like, they're ready to turn the KX droid you found on. So they walk up to the KX droid. And this is how the episode ends. They power it up, and they're basically like, well, it can go one way or it can go the other way, right? He can kill us all, or you can be on our side. And he said a bunch of droid stuff like, I did this, I did that. So he turns them on. Eventually he gets there, and we hear Alan Tudyk's voice say a couple of things. And because like Cassian was pointing a gun at him, and like K2 at the end was like, oh, you going to put that down or something like that? Like, I'd really like if you don't point that at me, please. And the episode ended with, him being on and the K2 that we know, and Cassian standing there looking at him, and that's it. That's episode 7, 8, and 9.
As a Star Wars dork, that sounds like more of an episode that I would enjoy than 8. Even though 8 was amazing and I sung my praises earlier.
They're so perfect together. Like, you can't have one without the other. You really can't.
I cannot wait to get the hell out of Hollywood Studios and go watch this episode when we get home.
Watch it on your way
excited.
home. Yeah.
You know what I think it will? I think I'll drive home watching Andor.
Please.
That's probably a good idea.
Please, being dangerous. I appreciate if you were able to sit through the rambling of my one watch of Andor. I appreciate that, and the ADHD that got me through that. So I love this season. We have to give praise to Disney. At least I want to give praise to Disney and Lucasfilm. They get a lot of shit lately. Some of it warranted, some of it not. But this is absolute cinema, and I've been having a very great time watching it. Thank you for making Andor. So
I would agree. I think this is special, and I think what they've done with these 2 seasons as a whole is like exceptional.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Who knew? Like I didn't even know that like this could be.
I didn't know I
good.
wanted to see this story. I didn't know. I remember when this was announced, I was like, I'm good. I don't need to hear this.
Me too, kind of.
But and now I'm like, I don't think it's my favorite Star Wars show, but like the story was worth hearing.
Yeah. Any more Andor thoughts, Evan, and we can kind of kick it back, and we can give you a huge floor to talk at the end here.
Well, I mean, not really for Andor, but like I'll get around to watching these, and you made me more excited for it, but based on your passion. Mm-hmm. And this actually does sound like something that I would really enjoy, especially that ending where there's so many connections to things that I love.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll get around to them, and I'm excited for them now. You've definitely sparked that in me too. But this week I did watch Tales of the Underworld.
Yeah, talk about
you wanted to hit that real quick.
Yeah, go for it, please.
Did you all get to see it yet?
I watched the first 3, and the Asajj Ventress arc was fucking perfect. 10 out of 10.
Yeah,
I saw the thumbnail on Disney Plus. That's all I saw.
The Ventress arc is great, and who knew the Cad Bane arc was going to be great too? I did not know I was going to love a Cad Bane origin story.
It's Cad Bane, bro. Cad Bane's the shit.
Yeah, but here we are. I won't spoil it, to save time too. But they kind of lead you down one path, and you think, "Oh, that's Cad Bane,"
Pun
but
intended.
then, yeah, oh yeah, for the Asajj arc.
Yep.
But then in that Cad Bane, they're like, actually, no, this is the Cad Bane character here, and that's his origin. So it's cool how they do it. But they do the stupid thing of like, here's how he gets his hat. So that part, like, I don't need. But how
I
his
hate that. I
character,
hate that shit in storytelling.
yeah, I don't need to know how he got his hat, but I do like to see how his character became what he became, a space cowboy.
This is why his last name is Solo, was because he was by himself. I hate all that shit.
Yeah.
Cad Bane's last name is Bane because it's his favorite comic book character. You know, like who knew?
You didn't matter who you are before I shot
But-
I
Boba
was
Fett.
born in the darkness.
But yeah, the Ventress arc is awesome too. Like Tom already said one thing that's a spoilery kinda. I don't know if Brad caught it, so I won't say it. But the Asajj arc is great too.
I didn't, so that's great.
And it does answer how she somehow returned. You know, and it's like, oh yeah,
It does.
that makes sense. All
It
right.
does. Yeah, thank God. Like I always get nervous about that shit with Star Wars, but I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
this makes so much sense. Thank you.
And they don't spend 20 minutes on it. It's
No.
just like 4 minutes. And it's like, oh, okay, got it. Move on. But yeah, I love Tales of the Underworld. Give me all these tales of the whatever. I'm here for all of it.
What would you want next? So we got Tales of the Jedi, Tales of the Empire, Tales of the Underworld. You want Tales of the...
I think in the past.
Resistance, baby. I want the Tales of the Resistance. Let me see how they
yeah.
got to certain places.
Yeah, I think
I
we've
like that.
probably answered this. And I think most of the time my answer is always Knights of Ren. But another good
Tales,
one could be
Tales
like,
of the Ren. I like that.
yeah, Tales of the
Tales
Ren.
of Ren.
Another one that could be good is like Tales of the Nameless. We could go back to High Republic times. Or Tales of the Drengir. Go back to High Republic too. I don't know. That might be too specific, but something in High Republic would be cool.
Tales of the how Yoda got here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't. I still have
Tales
to
of
watch.
Dagobah.
Yeah, I still have to watch the Cad Bane arc, but I'm excited. I know.
So good.
The Asajj one was great though too. Before we kick it into just kind of letting you close the show out. Yeah, I'll talk about this morning real quick. I guess we can. I had a very very interesting morning. Evan doesn't know this. Brad does, but I just feeling like this weird tingling and numbness in my left arm and left side of my face lately, and it's been on and off, and it got to the point where I was like, okay, am I stroking out here at the tender age of 39? Like, did I stress myself into a stroke? So I was at the gym and I was feeling it again this morning after lifting my shoulder specifically, and then I was texting my wife and I was like, she kind of convinced me maybe I should go to the ER and check this out. So I did. Everything's fine, but a blood drawn, CAT scan, and what else did I do this morning? EKG. Heart's fine, brain's fine, blood's good. I'm good. Must just be like a pinched nerve, but a pinched nerve could feel like you're stroking out a little bit. I mean, I didn't have blurred vision and I wasn't confused and my side of my face wasn't droopy or anything like that, but man, it's a little nerve wracking there. Plus I hate
That's scary. I would have
Yeah.
thought heart
It's a little
attack.
scary. Yeah.
Yeah, I would have 100% dipped out and gone. Did what you did.
Yeah.
You did not overreact. Dying is not thinking you're dying is not an overreaction. By the
No.
way.
I know. But you
Jumped
know,
on WebMD and just searched all your symptoms, and it's like, you are dying. It's like, oh,
more or less, I actually did.
Immediately to
I looked
hospital.
up because your brain starts going off. I'm like, this is a little strokey. So it's like I had to go look at the symptoms just so I wasn't like, if it's serious, I had to be serious. But right, and the whole one side of the body and the and tingling and the numbing. I'm like, that's a little specific. So
Yeah, that's scary, man. I'm glad you're good.
yep,
I'm
I'm
glad
good.
you're
I'm good. And the crazy part about it too is like, getting a clean bill of health back. It's like great. So I'm not eating like a dipshit at Disney every day. So I'm like, okay, we're doing all right.
and more importantly,
Yeah, I got the same thing, and I was like, let's keep going. Let's keep drinking.
I'm not going to do
More
that. I need to
importantly-
lose about 25 pounds, but we're good.
If we
Same,
lose-
dude. Same.
if we lose Tom, that means it's just Brad again on the podcast. So we
Yeah,
can't.
no
have Brad.
one wants that. No
Evan,
one wants to
Evan,
be
the
doing
fact
it.
that you're off now, I ain't going fucking anywhere. Jedi Talk's going to
better
the
not.
fucking moon.
You better not.
to the moon, baby.
To the moon, baby.
To the moon.
I've been Matamaga. He's been Brad. Evan, you rightfully so need to just close this episode out, man. I'm going to sit back and listen. Just say whatever you fucking want to say.
Man, I don't even know really what to say, but technically I'll be back for one more episode. But Yeah, like I said earlier, thanks for Tom and Brad for just letting me be on here and talk stupid for so long, and thanks to all the awesome people we've met because of this. Like yeah, like on the Star Cruiser, we got to meet the actors playing those characters, but then we actually got to meet the real people, and then that has led us to make friends because of that. Both those actors and also people that like those actors, and also people that listen to the show that aren't Star Cruiser related that like the same things that we do, that message us or message me or we talk Star Wars, and it's because of this show. I probably never would have met 10, 20 different people I've met. I was never talking with Brad on opening day of Galaxy's Edge, and then he asked me to be on the show. So, thank all of you for talking Star Wars with me, whether it's DMing or just in person or meeting in Galaxy's Edge or whenever, wherever. And if you see me and you still want to, yeah, I'll talk Star Wars with you anytime. So just because I'm not on the show doesn't mean I don't want to talk Star Wars with anybody. And obviously, Tom and Brad, I'll still talk with you guys and hang out with you guys all the time. So
Absolutely.
thanks, thanks
Nope,
everybody.
I just blocked your number, so no.
Well, that's fine. Yeah, but yeah, thanks everybody for just listening to me and giving me all these opportunities. It's been great.
It's been a good run, buddy. We love you, man.
Yep, I love you guys too.
Thank you guys for listening. We'll see you guys on the next show. Until then, stay safe. May the force be with you.
Always into Buoy Tay.
Rise, Jedi Knight.